When we think about our past, it's easy to get caught up in regret, thinking about the mistakes we made and the opportunities we missed. We start replaying those moments in our minds thinking, if I could just go back, I wouldn't have done this, I wouldn't have trusted that person, I would have taken that opportunity, or I would have made a different decision. But it's not always our failures that keep us stuck in the past. Sometimes it's our successes too. We can become attached to who we used to be or to the success we once experienced. And when the present doesn't look the same, we can find ourselves wishing we could go back to that version of ourselves. One of the reasons the past is so difficult to let go of is because we have evidence. These things actually happened. You have experienced them and you have memories to back them up. For example, if you've been lied to and betrayed by people you trusted, that experience is going to affect how you approach people in the future. You might become more cautious and find it difficult to trust someone else completely because you've experienced what it feels like to trust someone and have that trust broken. And that's how our past experiences can start shaping how we see the present. We take what happened before and use it to make sense of what's happening now. And sometimes we start using the past to predict our future. For example, if you failed several times in the past, you might start expecting yourself to fail again. And after a while, you can stop seeing these things as experiences you've had and start seeing them as evidence of who you are. You start thinking, maybe I'm a failure, or maybe I'm not worthy of good things, and so on and so forth. And that's why it is important to separate what happened to you from who you are. By the way, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Winnie Marita from Your Mind is the Limit community. I make videos about identifying and challenging limiting beliefs so you can grow from the inside out. If that's something you're interested in, consider subscribing. Your past experiences can influence the way you think, the way you make decisions, and the way you see yourself. But just because something influenced you doesn't mean it has to define you. And I'm not here to tell you to forget about your past. That's not the point. There are things that happened that you need to acknowledge. There are things you may need to take responsibility for, and there are things you may need to grieve. The goal is not to pretend that your past didn't happen. The goal is to make peace with it. There are a few things that can help you do that. First, acknowledge what happened. Maybe you made a decision that you regret, but you can't go back and change it. However, you can be honest about what happened, take responsibility for your part, and understand what led you there. You don't have to minimize it, but you also don't have to keep punishing yourself for it. Next is to forgive yourself. You made those decisions with the knowledge, maturity, and understanding you had at the time. Now you know better because you've lived through more. And part of moving forward is allowing yourself to become someone who makes better decisions. Next is to take the lessons. Instead of constantly asking, why did I do that? Or replaying what happened over and over again, start asking, what can I learn from this? Or how can I do better next time? Maybe you realize you ignored red flags or you failed to set boundaries. That's useful information that you can use to make better decisions next time. And finally, allow yourself to make different decisions. This is where you stop allowing your past to make decisions for you. Instead of saying, I'm just bad with money, you might ask, what habits got me there, and what can I start doing differently? Now you're no longer using your past as a reason to stay the same. You're using it to make different choices. You can change your mind, your habits, and the way you respond because it is okay to outgrow ways of thinking and behaviors that no longer reflect who you are. Every choice you make today gives you new evidence of who you're becoming. So instead of spending all your energy wishing you could change what happened, pay attention to what you can do now. Because your past can explain some of your patterns and what you've experienced, it doesn't have to define who you are. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.